Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, and today we're going to be looking at some of the games I've been playing recently. Now, most of the games in this video are going to be platformers, but I did throw a little bit of horror in there as well. Let's get right into it. Here's Go Go Pogo Girl. This game caught me by surprise. Definitely a unique platformer. Now, with many platformers, the goal with this game is, of course, to get to the goal. But getting there is going to take a little bit of skill because the gimmick with this game is that you're on a pogo stick and you do not stop jumping on that stick unless you push the down button for a super jump. Now, this may sound difficult, but you'll actually get used to it, and the game is quite fun. If you have any kind of skills in platform games, you'll definitely get used to this one. If you haven't played platform games, you'll get used to this game because once you get used to it, this game becomes super fun. Each level has secrets in it, and I usually try to go for everything because it's just fun trying to get around and explore everything in the levels. You know, finding the secrets. It's kind of like how you felt when you found the whistle in Super Mario Bros. 3. It gives you that kind of feeling. Graphically, the game looks like a really colorful Nintendo game, or even you could say a Super Nintendo game. Music-wise, the music is good, but it kind of plays the same tune over and over again, at least the levels that I was on. And also, when you get through a certain amount of levels, you'll actually fight a boss. Now, I didn't have too much problems with the boss on my first try. You know, the skills I learned up until that point really helped me, but you have to be patient and wait for your openings. This game totally won me over, and I feel like it's one of those games, you know, I may be saying it out there, but it definitely deserves a physical release from what I've played. I would say definitely try this game out if you like platform games. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a great time, and I think you will too. Here's Trenches. This is a World War I survival horror game, and this game is very tense. You know, it starts off strong from the beginning. It is very creepy. And being that you're already in like a trench-like maze is just horrifying. As I was playing this game, I wasn't sure what to expect. While investigating, I noticed that you could hide in certain places, and I knew from that point on, it was game on, because as soon as the game shows you a hiding spot, in the very beginning, that means you're being stalked. And I was right. I didn't know what I was being stalked by, but you could hear it. And it was very creepy, and you can see stuff peeping at you around the corners as you go through the trenches, but you're not entirely sure on what it is. So it's very creepy. How this game progresses the story, if you want to know the story, you have to read the notes that you find. But when you read those notes, they give you vague hints of what the story is about, so it's very creepy. If you want to get the best experience with games like these, play at nighttime, play with the lights off, play with surround sound if you have that, and just let the game take over. It is an insane experience. Now, the last thing I want to say is that when you run into the enemy that is stalking you, make sure by the time you see him or it that you know the controls in this game, because there's nothing worse than fumbling when you try to escape an enemy. This enemy is fast and smart, so be on the ready. Here's Cat Maze. So this is an adventure game that I want to say is somewhat story driven, at least in the beginning, where you see the life of the main character played out until she's 16 years old. From that point on, you're pretty much starting the game trying to help your mother because she's sick and you want to find an item for her, and the game starts from that point on. What's really cool about this game is that if you get lost, there's always a cat. But if you find the cat, you'll know where to go. You'll know you're going into a new area. At least one that you're going into to advance the story. Now, I gotta be honest, I knew I was gonna like this game immediately when I saw how it looked. I love pixelated games. The backgrounds for each section you go to is well drawn out, and the level design is as well balanced out where they place enemies at. It's not too easy, but it's not very difficult at the same time. Now, during the game, you'll be able to buy potions and upgrades to kind of help you during the adventure. Besides key items, these items will help you like progress through the game easier, such as building up your strength, your defense, stuff like that. You also have your melee and magic attacks. Melee attacks you could do at any time, but magic attacks take up SP, so use them sparingly. Cat Maze is a lot of fun, and I think that anybody who enjoys a good adventure game will definitely want to pick this up. It doesn't feel generic at all. It really feels fleshed out and fun. Here's Loot Box Life Plus. So this is another adventure platform game, and this one is really cool. It's kind of hilarious how the game plays out, how you earn like a new abilities. You know, this game is definitely gonna be one that trophy hunters want to pick up because it seems like you get a trophy for almost everything you do or anything you acquire. Now, when I get used to most platform games, you know, I like to play kind of off my momentum. You know, sometimes I risk it, you know, sometimes I'm very careful. But this game, you definitely have to be very careful with everything you do because the main character you control is very, I guess I could say maybe kind of floaty. You know, you're learning new abilities all the time from loot boxes. So maybe the game gets a lot more easier to control as you get further. But so far, in the beginning stages of the game, you know, I was having trouble kind of like staying on platforms, but maybe it was my fault because momentum was like I was trying to go too fast. But I see the game does have a lot of potential, and graphically it looks great, and I think a lot of people might want to take interest in this game. Lucky for us who play this game, there are a lot of checkpoints, so you feel like you're always making progress, even though some of the parts can be kind of difficult. Here's Panda Punch. This is a decent platform game where you play as a fox who has a robotic punching arm, and you use that to attack your enemies. Now, after a certain event in the beginning of the game, you get the punching arm. Once you get that weapon, from what I've played so far, it pretty much stuns your enemies, and then you could do like a final attack on them to finish them off. Now, this game is fun, but I did get turned off by some of the enemies in the beginning of the game. They were just kind of annoying and all over the place. But I feel like this game has potential, and I thought I would go ahead and include it on this list. The game pretty much has what I love in platform games. You know, catchy music, good graphics, and decent gameplay, I would say. I'm still getting used to it, but just like I said, I wanted to include it on this list because I think some people might want to take a look at it, or hey, let me know what you think about it. Here's the Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection. You know, I always wanted to try these games out, at least the first three. I played the fourth game, and the fourth game, Monster World 4, is actually my favorite and the game I played the most. But the other three games, I tried to play them, and I just couldn't get into them. I feel like these games are the type of games you kind of had to come up with in a way. You know, I just, out of all these games, I'd rather play the fourth game. And even when it comes to the fourth game, I rather play the remake instead. Now, you never know. I may change my mind about the first three games if I get a little bit more time to play them. Maybe I could get into them more. But definitely the fourth game is where it's at on this collection. So if you haven't played these, I would say most people will just hop into the fourth game. I think that's the best one that'll kind of get you hooked on the series, possibly.